Lovely, perfect.
What are you cheating for?
I'm not cheating.
What are you doing?
Nothing. You love me, innit?
I don't trust you.
Trust me with what?
You don't trust women
Never.
at all.
Never. Love them but don't trust them.
Yeah.
Provide for them.
Mm-hmm.
Give them attention.
That's it.
Don't trust them.
Are you ready to start?
I've started.
Have you?
Yeah.
I didn't put no lip gloss on.
Watch that.
My lips are dry.
Do you want to do it?
Should I give you some?
Man, can you give us some lip gloss?
I'll give you gloss.
I'm coming.
Come, let me gloss you.
Yeah, so it's good to have you guys, man. You guys have been with us on Facebook Live a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Had quite a lot of views. Because we know how to break it down.
That's it.
The whole marriage thing, you know.
That's it.
You guys have got some interesting experience, so it's a pleasure to have you on, man. We just wanted to talk about this whole issue of relationships and marriage and where God features in it. But from your perspective, how long have you been married?
Well, what do you want me to answer that? You put me on the test. August 24th, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
How long?
August 24th this year. We'll be married 15 years.
15, man.
15 years.
Does it feel like a long time?
Yeah, no.
I think so. I feel like it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like ages. It does.
Yeah.
For real.
It does.
Is that good ages or bad ages?
No, not bad ages.
I'm joking.
It's just...
You're not going to blow him up on camera.
I think it's for me it's both.
Yeah.
Depending on how I look at it, time seems to have flown by, and then others, it's like that's a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, telling people 15 years it just sounds long.
You know why? Because you don't look it. You don't look like you've been married 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens.
Well, maybe you.
Thanks.
When the food is good, you're just happy forever. You know?
That's it. That's it. We'll give you the secrets in a minute.
So how many children do you have?
Got 3 children.
Yeah, 3 wonderful kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, Micah,
Yeah.
who's 13, Mikkel, who's 11, and Marcel, who literally just turned 9 a couple of days ago.
Define marriage according to the Daddies.
Ah, goodness. Marriage is sweat. Oh, man. According to me. Oh, man.
What is marriage?
What is marriage? Boy, I see marriage as 2 individuals who have decided to come together to share their life experiences and to be together to continue to share. So you're not just sharing the moment. You share your past. Obviously, you share your present, but you're also prepared to together share your future, whatever that future may be. And it's a decision. I say it's a decision because it's something that 2 people choose to do or should choose to do, and then marriage in and of itself is about sticking to that decision, and then whatever else, whatever comes through over the years. But it's hard to define it. You can't define it in one word.
Well, this is
really.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, do you have that in your head? Is any of what you just said in your head when you're walking down the aisle, or when you become engaged, or when you're in a relationship, or when you're moving to that stage of contemplating marriage? What is what you said? Any of that in your mind or heart at the time?
For me, when I think back, to be honest, I don't think most of it was. But I did decide, I did know that if I choose to make that decision, then that's it. It's final. There's no if, buts or maybes.
But you had no idea.
You have no idea what it's all about like what it entails, and do you know what I mean? It's like people can tell you from their experiences, but no two experiences are the same. They will always be similar, but never the same. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I just don't think most people think about all those things, and even if you do, no matter how much you do think on it, it will never be as you thought it was.
I think for me, I agree with that. I would say I had very much in my mind that, because marriage was something that I thought about before I contemplated the relationship in the first place, because I wasn't really about to get into a relationship and not be thinking that if all goes well, then what, kind of thing. So marriage was always in the back of my mind, that going into a relationship, that was the possible outcome of that relationship. So for me, it was always, the long term was always in my mind. But so for me, the commitment, obviously, when I knew that I wanted to marry you, at that point I was thinking, oh my days, marriage is this commitment and blah, blah, blah. Am I ready for that? Am I prepared to, you know what I mean, to commit to the long term? Because I'm not about to just, take it lightly, but what the experiences and stuff that, like you were saying, the experiences that we have been through for these past 15 years, you can never know that you're going to go through these. Some will tell you, like you're saying, from their experiences, that there'll be times when you feel like this and times when you feel like that. But when you go through them yourself, the way you go through will always be different to somebody else's experience, and you can never really you can never know about those things. But
you just have to decide and stick to your decision, and no matter what happens, decide that I'm going to stick this out, I'm going to work through it, and this is it. It's just final. There's no, I can just end it and choose someone else. It's this is it, one person, and we're going to do this no matter what happens. Yeah. I think that's the decision. Obviously, if things happen,
certain things like abuse and stuff like that. Yeah, I get you.
You get me. So, but just, I don't know. I think marriage is just about having that final decision, just saying, I'm just going to stick it out. It's just all about sticking it out.
I think it's saying that, looking at it, I think marriage is making the decision to spend the rest of your life with somebody who you have, met. And then the rest of it is about making decisions to honor that decision. If you see what I'm saying, because you go through stuff and then you have to make decisions. But the decision should always be to honor that first decision of marriage, of it's me and you now for the rest of our life. Do you know what I mean, kind of thing. And you go through a lot that's going to test your resolve. But you need to make decisions to enforce that first decision, that this is it, this is we're going to work this out, we're going to work through it, and then try to make that decision a pleasurable one. So you try to create memories. You do stuff, you make you're
creating value.
Yeah, you're adding value as much as possible.
Yeah.
Well, this leads on to another question. For you, what is love?
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll go first.
For me, I don't think it's an easy question to answer, but I think that love is an act. It's like two things. It's not just it's words and it's emotions. Do you know what I mean? You often hear people say, you say you love me, but how do I know? You need to show me that you love me. So I feel like it's emotions, it's an act of service.
No, listen, it is better.
It's a tough one.
Stop talking rubbish. Start again. What is love?
I'm not good at
Say it, Iman. Iman is love. Emmanuel is love.
It's what?
Emotion and
It's what's it? It's an enacted emotion.
Enacted.
Yeah,
enacted emotion. It's an enact. You're laughing.
Good.
It's an enacted emotion for me.
Yeah.
So if I'm always like, I love you, darling.
Yeah, it's not enough. Because I read somewhere that someone was saying that sometimes you can hide your actions behind your words. So if there's, I won't say women and men that will stay with their partner being abused because they stay with them because they think they love them and because they tell them that they love them. So I'm punching you and I'm slamming you against the wall and I'm saying, but I love you. And then you will say, oh, I can't leave him because, he loves me. Or, as a woman, you would say, I can't leave him, he loves me. And he tells me every day that he loves me.
They're just following the words, isn't it?
And, he doesn't mean it, what he's doing. He doesn't mean it. I know he loves me because he tells me.
So what's more important, the words or the action?
Well, this is it. So I do believe it's more than just words. You do have to act on it as well as say it.
Yeah, love isn't like Karla said. It's an amalgamation of things. It's emotional, it's mental, and physical. And for me, they all have to come together to be expressed properly. It's an expression of what's going on inside. If you can't express it, love can become a curse, I guess. Do you know what I mean? But you have to be able to express. And I guess in doing so, those who you're trying to express love to have to be able to interpret what that is.
So what does that mean? You've got to speak. I mean, isn't them just receiving love from you? I'm loving you. This is how I love you. Isn't that enough?
It's not enough if they don't realise that that's your expression of love, kind of thing. So, I can be doing stuff for you or to you or with you, thinking that I'm showing love, but that's not how you perceive it. So I think love in its essence both needs to be given, but also in a way needs to be understood and received. Because without that, even though, I might feel like I love you and I'm doing what I think expresses love and you don't really interpret that as love, we don't have love, if you see what I mean.
Interesting. Are you saying you don't have love?
Well,
not if she doesn't perceive that I'm loving her.
Yeah, if I'm not receiving it.
So she doesn't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Then there isn't
between us.
There's no communication.
Yeah. So she will be
because love has to be communicated.
It has to be communicated, but the communication has to be received and understood. Otherwise, for them, love doesn't exist.
Yeah. You don't feel loved.
You don't feel it.
No. So you have to kind of. I mean, the thing is, because the honeymoon phase is not a measure. Like before you get married,
bro. You said something right there, boy. Oh, don't be fooled by 2 weeks. Yeah, honeymoon in Gibraltar.
Well, even pre, like you could be dating for a year.
Yeah.
And I could still call that honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
And I think that
even like a year, 2 years afterwards, after you get married, it's still a phase where it's still your best foot forward, really. It's when things start to settle then.
Because for some strange reason, everything that the other person might do is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Until maybe the first crazy argument. Or maybe you've gone through that phase and then you're like, that don't mean nothing to me.
No, you're right. I mean, it's very, I think when it comes to between two, for example, obviously within our marriage, because there's been times where, for example, I feel like I'm doing something that expresses love from me. But then every so often we have a conversation, that conversation that, you have as married couple, like that MOT conversation, like how's things going kind of thing.
How's cleaning?
And, she might express that she's not feeling loved in such and such a way. And I'm scratching my head because I'm thinking, but hold on.
I bought the shopping in the house. I packed out the shopping.
What do you mean? Do you know what I mean? But
the room.
So that's what I mean by love has to be understood. or else really
in their language.
Yeah.
So
Whatever that is.
So doesn't the other person have a duty to kind of read you correctly, or is it on you to just speak their language?
Yes, you do, but it's still because sometimes you can let the person know or let your partner know, but then sometimes they continue to still do what they're doing, you know, and it's not, I don't know, if you're still not feeling that
that you're being loved.
If you're still not feeling it, then it's still a problem.
I think the onus is on the one loving to make sure that the person receiving is understanding. Because if I'm the one doing the talking, there's no point in me talking in a language you don't understand. If I'm literally talking to you, do you know what I mean? There's no point in me speaking to you in fancy because you don't understand that. So when I'm saying I'm loving you, I have to make sure that I'm loving you in a way that you understand, which then puts an onus on me understanding what, I guess, language you speak when it comes to love. But then you loving me back, the same responsibility lies on you.
Yeah. I think what I'm trying to say before is that I think I have to have a certain amount of patience as well. With the partner. With Emmanuel. Sorry. With Emmanuel. I say partner and all that. But yeah, I mean, I would have to have a certain amount of patience because if I know that's the way that he shows love, I can't just say, no, I don't want it. Do you know what I mean? Or I'm not accepting that. That's just not my thing. That's his way. So I have to have a certain amount of patience with him.
That's true.
But then if I communicate with you and tell you, you know, I don't really feel that what you're trying to express to me, then obviously you have to have a certain amount of patience with me and try and communicate it differently according to how, you know, I like it to be done. So I think...
And I think even in that is an expression of love.
Yeah.
By what, being patient, you mean?
No, by adjusting. So you know, if she says, you know, I don't really understand that to be love kind of thing, for me to adjust the way I communicate to her is also an expression of love kind of thing. In that aspect also means that we can be who we are within our four walls. So if you cannot communicate that to me, and for me to be able to adjust myself according to that, then you can turn around and say, I don't love you. Or you don't feel loved. Do you see what I'm saying? Regardless of how much stuff I do. If you just turn around, if you say, right, you know, this is what I need, or I don't get this and that, and I don't want to, then, you know, really, where's the love?
It's honesty. Be honest.
Yeah. You have to be able to be honest. And
so this moves us on nicely. I mean, it's like you're reading the script.
I did.
Thank you. Then I'll just leave you with the questions. So the differences between you both.
How long is string? Nah.
What are you trying to say?
The difference.
How far is the east from the west? I think we're very different.
You think you're very different?
Yeah, we are. We're very different, but we're
looking at you saying,
we're very similar at the same time.
Blow me up.
Yeah. Can you stop burning this side of my face with your eyes? Now.
Wait. You need to cut. You need to lick your lips there.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. That's fine. That's why I'm trying to find the right time to say it.
Just say it.
Yeah.
What you do if you want to?
I don't want to cut you in a good bit. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, right. Cool.
So, the difference is, who's going first?
You go first.